highly sensitive to the energies that surrounds them, energy of the environment, energy of the people around them. They can read the room. Obviously, there is a range. Not everyone will feel drained in the same way. Another thing you should know is that this is something you are born with. Hello, how are you today? Did you smile today? Yes? Wonderful. And if not, that's okay too. And maybe it will come before the video ends. Today's topic is inspired by Yoko's video that she did a few years ago. But before I get talking, if you are a Reiki practitioner, I'd like you to connect with Reiki as you listen, because you can. With a Reiki practice, you don't need to focus, only when you are connecting. So pause if you like as you connect, and then place your hands anywhere on your body so as to allow the Reiki flow. And then listen. If you don't know how to connect with Reiki, no worries. Take an intentional breath to accept the Reiki that will be coming to you through the screen, because I will send you Reiki through my voice. Of course, if you are here only for the content, that is okay too. Make that intention and you will not receive Reiki from me. That is how beautiful Reiki works. Let's get into the topic. Yoko talks about empaths, how being an empath is a curse sometimes, but also an amazing gift. In fact, many of our students, when asked why they decide to learn Reiki, they say because they can't handle the crowd. It often gets overwhelming. Or they work around a lot of sick and sad people, and that drains them. But why Reiki? Because they've had friends or colleagues who have learned Reiki and overcome these issues. So who is an empath? For the purpose of this video, I'm going to describe an empath as someone who is highly sensitive to the energies that surrounds them, energy of the environment, energy of the people around them. They can read the room. Obviously, there is a range. Not everyone will feel drained in the same way. Another thing you should know is that this is something you are born with. It's your nature. So there are disadvantages, but there are a lot of advantages as well. And because it's your nature, it's part of you. Don't try to suppress it or get rid of it. You just need to learn to manage it. Because you sense other people's energies, you are more compassionate, empathetic. You get them without a lot of words. You understand their needs. That means you're probably really good at being a counselor, a therapist, a nursing professional. You get the idea. You would probably do well in the hospitality industry as well, because you must understand the needs of your clients before they say it. Of course, there are people who are not highly sensitive to the energies around them. They can also get to these professions through training. But as an empath, you definitely have an advantage because you can cater to each person on a very individual basis. You probably don't even know it because it comes naturally to you. By the way, this is often the case. When you can do something easily and effortlessly, you downplay the skill. You assume everyone can do it. So just know that as an empath, this is a special skill only you have. But of course, there is the flip side of this as well. You can sense the negative energies around you, and that drains you. I'm going to use Yoko's explanation here to give you an energetic breakdown. What does it mean to read the room, to sense the energies around you? Every person is emitting an energetic frequency. If you're ill, that's the frequency you emit. If you're sad, that's the frequency you emit. You can even call it the person's aura or their energy. An empath can very easily catch these frequencies. How do they catch it? It's probably something you have been doing ever since you remember. It just happens. You try to match the other person's lower frequency. You resonate. Just like adjusting the frequency for a radio station, you change the frequency to theirs. When it resonates, you receive all the information, like the pain the person is feeling or the sadness they are in, and all of it. Like I said earlier, there is a range. So not every empath will feel drained on a daily basis, but some of you just cannot be around sad and or sick people because you always go out to resonate with other people's frequency. You do it by changing your own frequency. And when it matches, you get all the information, energetically, of course. Why is this draining? Let's say you are in a waiting room somewhere and you see a person walk in, obviously in some pain. You begin to wonder about the person's pain, not really focusing on that thought, but just because. And before you realize it, you've resonated with that person's pain frequency and copied their back pain to your own back. That is obviously painful to you because now your body senses the pain energetically, just like the person who really has a back pain. Of course, this is an extreme case of resonance. Please know that you've only caught the pain frequency. It's not real. You don't actually have a back problem. But obviously, you feel the pain and discomfort. It's not pleasant. What can you do? Not surprisingly, when you learn Reiki and begin to practice self-healing, you are able to manage it in the sense that you're able to return to your original frequency faster. Because in essence, you deviate from your original frequency when you naturally go to resonate with the pain frequency. So the Reiki attunement and the practice trains you to return to self, your original frequency. When you don't know a lot about Reiki, this may sound too good to be true, but we've had many students who have been struggling in the past, but now with Reiki, able to manage it. On a less extreme case, for example, let's say you listened to your friend talk about her struggle and you resonated emotionally with her. You go home and can't sleep because you are still resonating with her frequency and emotionally struggling with her. Maybe this continues for a few days. But now with Reiki self-healing practice, many of my students have also said the recovery time is much faster. When you are in a state of sadness, pain, anger, etc., you are not in your true frequency. What Reiki does is brings you back to your true frequency, brings you back to your original self. I'm going to leave it at that for now, but if this has intrigued you, please get in touch with any one of our chapters. Ask more questions if you need to, but consider learning Reiki. Now, I'll share some of Yoko's personal techniques you'll be able to use. If you've learned Reiki, these techniques will be enhanced, but even without Reiki, it should help. Let's take the earlier example of listening to your friend. You naturally go in and tune into your friend's frequency of struggle. And so now you are emotionally vested in her story. It's not your struggle, but you feel as if it is. Of course, this can happen to any one of us, not just an empath. It happens when you are watching a movie. You get so involved that you begin to cry when the main character begins to cry, or you jump up and down when she has a win. It can happen when reading a book. Anyone can get emotionally involved, but the difference is for non-empaths, this only happens while watching a movie or reading a book, not anytime, anywhere like an empath. As an empath, you are not trying to read into anything or trying to match your frequency to theirs. It just happens naturally, and that is why it becomes draining. So the first step is to acknowledge that you are unknowingly but deliberately reaching out and resonating with that person's frequency. It's not because you happen to be in the same space as someone who is struggling. It's because you are energetically connecting with that person, and this is your gift. You're born with this gift, and so almost automatically you reach out. There are many occasions where this is really a useful gift, but when you reach out to a lower frequency and take that in, it's a struggle for you. It's draining for you. So know that you can control this, because although it's almost automatic, you are reaching out. That means you can also stop it. You have the power to disconnect. Yoko says she imagines a power outlet. When she reaches out, it's like she has inserted the plug into the outlet. So she then imagines removing the plug, pulling the plug from the outlet, thus disconnecting from the lower frequency. You deliberately misalign the two frequencies. You could also imagine cutting it off if you felt tied with a rope or a cord to that other frequency. Say to yourself, you would not receive the lower negative feelings any longer because you've made the cut. This next one may be a bit advanced, but when you're listening to someone and it's only the two of you, yet you listen as a third person, as if you are the note taker in the corner of the room. You don't know any of these people. You were hired to just take notes for the meeting. This technique also helps reduce the effect you may have from resonating with the lower frequency. This next one is from our Reiki practice. You want to basically expand your aura before going out into the world. When you expand your aura, it serves as a protection field. You can do this through the traditional breathing technique. Next technique is about grounding. The more you are grounded, the less you will be affected by others' energies. A simplest way to achieve grounding is walking. If you're able to jump up and down on the spot, better. You can also just walk on the spot by making sure your heels firmly touch the ground. You can also bring your hands to lower abdomen, specifically to tanden, which will bring the energy down lower, stabilizing you so you are not easily affected by the lower frequencies. You can also just get some privacy and exhale. Doesn't have to be a proper breathing technique, just an intentional exhale. And finally, super effective for grounding is the Reiki Shower. This is very much a Reiki technique and very effective for grounding. One of my favorites. Use any of these techniques to manage how you get affected. But please, don't negate this gift. It is the gift that can be used for a lot of good, and know that you can manage it. It is in your control. Just knowing that is going to be a game changer. I hope this was useful and that you will consider learning Reiki if you haven't already. We have several chapters in different parts of the world. Find your chapter and ask questions. Reiki is amazing, and I would love for you to learn. If it's not today, then tomorrow. There is something important I'd like to share. More than 50% of viewers are not subscribers. Please subscribe to this channel, because when you do, the video reaches more people and we can put a smile on more people, because that's what we do. Thank you for watching and sharing your time with me.